All right, so today we're diving deep into MuleSoft's platform architecture, and I'm really excited to unpack how it tackles those modern integration challenges businesses face.
Yeah, connecting all those different apps and systems companies use is a huge deal these days.
I mean, it's essential for efficiency and innovation.
Absolutely. It's not just about making systems talk, it's about building a foundation for agility and innovation.
Okay, so for those who are new to this whole world, what exactly is MuleSoft?
Well, you hear it thrown around as an IPS.
Right, an IPS, but what does that even stand for?
So IPS stands for Integration Platform as a Service, and MuleSoft is a leading example of that.
Okay.
Think of it as a specialized toolbox designed for building connections between applications.
So instead of custom integrations for each system?
Exactly. MuleSoft provides a more streamlined approach, and it's really powerful when you look at how much integration approaches have evolved.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the days of point-to-point integration?
Oh, where each connection was like a fragile thread.
Yeah, one new system and the whole thing could unravel. Total chaos.
Then came things like middleware and RPC.
Right, trying to bring some order to the madness.
Yes, those were steps in the right direction. Then came the era of enterprise service buses, or ESBs,
ESBs.
which aimed to centralize those connections. But as businesses moved towards cloud-based applications and needed more flexibility, ESBs started to feel a bit clunky.
Like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole.
Exactly, and that's where iPaaS solutions like MuleSoft step in.
More cloud native, more adaptable to the modern world.
Precisely. MuleSoft excels at creating what's called an application network.
Okay.
Basically a web of connected systems that communicate smoothly through APIs.
Hold on, let's break that down for our listeners.
Sure.
APIs are like the language these systems speak, right?
Yes, but there are different types of APIs within MuleSoft, and it's easy to get them mixed up.
Oh, I always do.
MuleSoft's approach is called API-led connectivity, and it uses three main layers of APIs: experience APIs, process APIs, and system APIs.
Okay, let's unpack those what makes each layer unique. So think of experience APIs as the front-facing layer tailored for specific user interfaces like a mobile app, a website, or even a device.
Okay.
They provide the information and functionality that users need in a way that makes sense for their particular experience.
So it's about presenting data and actions in a user-friendly way.
Right. What about process APIs? Where do they fit in?
Yeah, where do they fit in?
Process APIs are the behind-the-scenes orchestrators. They handle complex business logic, combining data from different systems, applying rules, and essentially making sure everything flows smoothly.
So they're like the project managers of the API world.
Yes, coordinating all the moving parts. And finally, we have the system APIs.
Right, the system API.
These are the connectors to the core systems, things like your CRM, ERP, databases, and other backend systems.
Okay.
They expose the data and functionality of those systems in a way that other APIs can access.
So it's like having a dedicated communication channel for each type of system, with the process APIs acting as the central hub.
Exactly. This layered approach makes your integration solution more modular, reusable, and scalable. You can change or add systems without disrupting the entire network.
This is starting to make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about how these systems are actually built.
Okay.
What are some of the key architectural patterns that MuleSoft uses to create these robust integrations?
Well, there are several, but let's highlight a few key ones.
Okay.
The competing consumers pattern, for instance, is all about handling high volumes of data efficiently. Imagine a sudden surge in orders for an online store instead of buckling under pressure. MuleSoft can distribute those orders across multiple consumers that process them concurrently.
So it's like having a team of workers instantly ready to tackle the workload, preventing any bottlenecks.
Precisely. And then there's the circuit breaker pattern, which is about preventing cascading failures if one system goes down. This pattern isolates the problem like a fuse blowing to protect the rest of the circuit.
That sounds like a critical safety feature, especially when you have so many interconnected systems.
Absolutely.
What about patterns for handling real-time events, like a change in inventory or a new customer signing up?
That's where event-driven architecture, or EDA, comes into play.
EDA.
MuleSoft can be configured to listen for specific events and trigger automated actions in response.
Okay, let's bring this back to the practical side. If I were tasked with designing an API using MuleSoft, where would I even begin?
It all starts with understanding the business needs and translating them into specific API functionalities.
Okay.
What are you trying to achieve with this API? What data needs to be accessed or manipulated? Who are the intended users or systems?
So it's like having a blueprint before you start building a house.
Exactly.
You need to know the purpose, the layout, and who will be living there, what happens once we have that blueprint.
Then you start defining the API's resources, which are essentially the things it can interact with. For example, if you're building an API for an online store, your resources might include products, customers, orders, and so on. Each resource has specific methods like get, post, put, and delete that define the actions that can be performed on it.
So we're essentially outlining the API's vocabulary and grammar, what it can talk about and how it can be interacted with.
Right.
What about the nitty-gritty details like data formats and security protocols?
Those are all crucial aspects of API design. MuleSoft provides guidance and tools to help you choose the right data formats, such as JSON or XML, and implement security measures like authentication and authorization.
So it's not just about functionality, it's about creating APIs that are secure, reliable, and easy to work with. And I imagine there are different levels of granularity when it comes to API design.
Exactly. You can have coarse-grained APIs that offer broad functionality in a single call, or fine-grained APIs that provide more granular control over specific actions. It's like choosing between ordering a full meal or individual dishes at a restaurant.
Right. It depends on your needs and appetite.
Exactly.
That's a helpful way to think about it. But once we have our API designed, how do we ensure it can handle the demands of a growing business? What about security?
That brings us to security, scalability, and optimization, all critical considerations in MuleSoft architecture.
All right, let's unpack each of those. First up, security. How does MuleSoft help us protect our APIs and the data they handle?
MuleSoft provides robust security features from authentication and authorization mechanisms to data encryption and threat protection policies. You can control who has access to your APIs, what actions they can perform, and ensure that sensitive data is protected both in transit and at rest.
So it's like building a fortress around your APIs with multiple layers of security to keep unauthorized users and malicious actors out. What about scalability? How do we ensure our APIs can handle increasing traffic and user demand?
Scalability is all about designing your integration solution to adapt to changing needs. MuleSoft leverages cloud-native technologies that allow you to easily scale your APIs up or down as needed, handling peaks in traffic without breaking a sweat.
So it's like having an elastic infrastructure that can expand and contract as needed. That's impressive. But what about optimization? How do we make sure our APIs are running as efficiently as possible?
Optimization is like fine-tuning an engine to get the best performance. MuleSoft provides tools for monitoring performance, identifying bottlenecks, and implementing caching and other techniques to speed up processing time and reduce latency.
So we're constantly looking for ways to streamline our API infrastructure and deliver the best possible user experience. This is all incredibly insightful, but I think it's time to ground these concepts in some real-world examples. Can you walk our listener through a scenario where MuleSoft is used to solve a practical business problem?
Absolutely. Let's take the example of a music store that's struggling to manage its various systems.
Perfect, because everyone loves a good music analogy. What kind of challenges might this music store be facing?
Well, they might have an online store, a physical store, a loyalty program, and a separate inventory management system. All these systems are operating in silos, creating a nightmare for managing inventory processing orders and providing a consistent customer experience.
I can see how that would be a major headache. So how does MuleSoft step in to save the day?
MuleSoft acts as the central nervous system connecting all these disparate systems through APIs. It enables the music store to create a unified view of customer data, automate order fulfillment processes, and personalize interactions based on purchase history and preferences.
So it's like bringing harmony to their business operations, making everything work together seamlessly. That's a powerful illustration of MuleSoft's real-world impact.
And this is just one example. MuleSoft is being used across a wide range of industries, from healthcare to finance to manufacturing, to solve complex integration challenges and unlock new business possibilities.
This has been an incredible journey through the fundamentals of MuleSoft platform architecture. We've covered a lot of ground, from the evolution of integration approaches to key architectural patterns, API design principles, and the importance of security, scalability, and optimization.
And we've seen how those concepts come to life in real-world scenarios, highlighting the transformative power of MuleSoft in connecting systems, data, and people. Welcome back. Last time we touched on how MuleSoft handles deployments in various environments.
Right, it's one thing to build an integration solution, but actually deploying and managing it effectively is a whole other challenge.
Exactly, especially with the rise of cloud and hybrid models.
Yeah, things are getting more complex, not less.
For sure. So can you walk us through how MuleSoft approaches deployment in these different scenarios?
Absolutely.
Mm,
One of the big advantages of MuleSoft is its flexibility in deployment options. You have options like Cloud Hub,
Cloud Hub.
which is MuleSoft's fully managed cloud platform.
Okay.
It's like having a team of experts taking care of all the infrastructure headaches for you.
So for businesses that want a more hands-off approach, Cloud Hub simplifies the deployment process significantly.
Exactly. You could deploy your applications with just a few clicks, and Cloud Hub handles things like scaling security and maintenance automatically.
Wow, so that's pretty awesome. But what about companies that need more control over their environment or have specific security or compliance requirements?
Right. For those companies, there's Runtime Fabric.
Okay, Runtime Fabric. Can you elaborate on that? What makes it different from Cloud Hub? Think of Runtime Fabric as giving you the best of both worlds.
Okay.
You can deploy MuleSoft applications in a containerized environment on your own infrastructure, whether it's on-premises or in a public or private cloud.
Okay.
You have more control over things like server configurations and security policies.
So for businesses with stricter regulatory requirements or those who prefer to manage their own infrastructure, Runtime Fabric offers that flexibility.
Precisely. And whether you choose Cloud Hub or Runtime Fabric, MuleSoft provides tools and best practices to streamline the deployment process and ensure smooth rollouts. For example, they have features like blue-green deployments.
Ah, blue-green deployments. Those sound vaguely familiar. Can you remind our listeners what those are and why they're so beneficial?
Sure, it's like having two identical stages in a theater.
Ah,
You deploy the new version of your application to the green stage, while the old version continues to run on the blue stage. Once you've confirmed everything is working smoothly on the green stage, you simply switch all traffic over.
so it minimizes downtime and risk during deployments because you always have a working version running.
Exactly. And if anything goes wrong with the new version, you can easily switch back to the old version with minimal disruption.
That's great. And what about canary releases?
Oh, yeah. Canary releases, think of a canary in a coal mine.
Okay.
You release the new version to a small subset of users first. If they don't encounter any issues, you gradually roll it out to a wider audience. It's a great way to catch any unexpected problems early on.
So it's like a safety net that allows you to test the waters before making a big splash smart. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about security. We know that securing APIs is absolutely essential, but what are some of the common challenges that companies face, and how does MuleSoft help them navigate this complex landscape?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is simply managing access control and authorization. You need to ensure that only authorized users and systems can access your APIs. And even then, they should only be able to perform specific actions that they're permitted to do.
So it's like having a bouncer at the door of your API, carefully checking credentials and granting access only to those who meet the requirements.
Exactly. MuleSoft provides robust authentication and authorization mechanisms to help you implement fine-grained access control. But it's not just about who can access the API, it's also about protecting the data that's being transmitted.
Right. Data breaches are a constant concern these days. How does MuleSoft address the issue of data security?
MuleSoft makes it easy to encrypt sensitive data both while it's being transmitted and when it's stored at rest. They use industry-standard encryption protocols to protect your data from prying eyes.
So it's like putting your data in a secure vault, both during transportation and storage, that helps to mitigate the risk of unauthorized access and data leaks.
Yeah.
But what about attacks that try to overload the API and bring it down?
You mean like denial of service attacks?
Yeah, those can be quite disruptive.
Absolutely. That's where things like rate limiting and throttling come into play. MuleSoft allows you to set limits on how many requests an API can handle within a specific time frame. This prevents malicious actors from bombarding your system with requests and potentially causing a denial of service.
So it's like having a traffic controller for your API, making sure that the flow of requests is manageable and doesn't overwhelm the system.
Exactly. These are just a few examples of the security features and best practices that MuleSoft provides to help businesses protect their APIs and data.
Okay, I'm feeling a lot more confident about the security aspect, but let's switch gears again and think about someone who's aspiring to be a MuleSoft architect.
Sure.
What are some of the common interview questions they might encounter, and what advice would you give them for tackling those questions effectively?
That's a great question. Interviewers will often want to assess your understanding of core MuleSoft concepts and your ability to apply that knowledge to real-world scenarios. So be prepared to discuss things like API-led connectivity, the different architectural patterns we've talked about, deployment strategies, and security best practices.
So it's not just about memorizing definitions, it's about demonstrating that you can think critically and solve problems using the MuleSoft platform.
Exactly. It's helpful to be able to talk about real-world projects you've worked on and challenges you overcome. Interviewers want to see that you have hands-on experience and can think through practical solutions.
So storytelling is key. It's about showcasing your ability to apply MuleSoft principles to solve real-world integration problems. What other advice would you give to someone preparing for a MuleSoft architect interview?
Stay up to date with the latest MuleSoft features and updates. The platform is constantly evolving, so it's important to demonstrate that you're actively learning and expanding your knowledge. There are plenty of resources available, like the MuleSoft training platform, community forums, and industry blogs.
So continuous learning is essential in the world of MuleSoft, and it sounds like there's a strong community of support available to help aspiring architects along the way.
Absolutely. And remember, becoming a successful MuleSoft architect is a journey, not a destination. It's about continuous learning, experimentation, and collaboration.
This segment has been packed with valuable insights about MuleSoft deployment strategies, security best practices, and even interview tips for aspiring architects. I'm feeling much more knowledgeable about the practical aspects of using MuleSoft in a real-world setting.
And we're not done yet. In our final segment, we'll explore some real-world use cases of MuleSoft across different industries, highlighting the transformative impact it's having on businesses around the world.
I'm excited to see those real-world examples. They always help to solidify my understanding of complex topics. So stay tuned for the grand finale of our MuleSoft Deep Dive. All right, welcome back to the final part of our MuleSoft Deep Dive.
I'm excited for this.
Me too. We've covered so much.
I know, right?
From API-led connectivity to deployments and security.
There's a lot.
But I think what really brings it all together are those real-world examples, you know?
Absolutely. Seeing how MuleSoft solves actual business problems.
Exactly. So are you ready to showcase some of those MuleSoft success stories?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's start with retail.
Okay, retail.
Imagine a large retail chain with both online and physical stores. They have to manage inventory, orders, customer data,
Right.
and integrate with payment gateways and shipping providers.
It sounds like a logistical nightmare.
It can be, but that's where MuleSoft comes in.
Okay. Oh.
MuleSoft can help create that seamless omni-channel experience for customers,
Yeah.
Shop online, pick up in-store, return in-store, or online.
I see.
It can automate inventory updates across all channels.
Makes sense.
So customers always see accurate stock information, and it can integrate with loyalty programs
Oh, that's smart.
to provide personalized offers and rewards.
Boosting engagement and retention.
Exactly.
So it's not just about connecting systems.
Yeah, it's about the customer experience.
Making it more personalized and enjoyable.
Exactly. And for the retailer, that means more sales and loyalty.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Let's shift gears to healthcare.
Okay, healthcare.
They deal with such sensitive information.
Absolutely. And there are so many regulations around patient privacy.
Right? So how does MuleSoft help them with all of that?
MuleSoft can connect EHR systems, patient portals, labs, pharmacies,
Wow.
all while ensuring data is secure and compliant with things like HiPay.
So it's improving care coordination and streamlining those processes.
Right, and ultimately delivering better patient outcomes while safeguarding sensitive information.
That's really important. What about financial services?
Yes, they're always under pressure to modernize.
And keep up with innovation.
Exactly, and they need to be incredibly secure.
Of course. So how does MuleSoft help them adapt?
MuleSoft can help them connect with those modern fintech innovations, streamline loan processing, provide real-time fraud detection.
Wow.
It's about creating more agile and responsive banking experiences for their customer.
While maintaining those high levels of security and compliance.
Exactly.
These are great examples. They really highlight how versatile MuleSoft is.
It's a powerful integration solution across so many industries.
We've only scratched the surface.
I know, right?
MuleSoft can connect manufacturing systems in smart factories.
Power data-driven insights in energy.
It's amazing.
It really is.
This has been an awesome deep dive into the world of MuleSoft.
I agree.
We went from the basics of API-led connectivity to real-world use cases that show just how transformative integration can be.
It's been a great journey.
I hope our listeners feel empowered to explore MuleSoft and embrace the world of connected systems.
Me too.
I want to leave everyone with one final thought.
Okay.
In today's world, integration is no longer just a technical thing, it's strategic.
Right.
It's essential for businesses that want to thrive.
Absolutely.
And MuleSoft provides the tools and platform to connect, innovate, and grow.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So embrace the power of integration, explore MuleSoft, and keep pushing those boundaries.
The future is interconnected.
And MuleSoft is leading the way.
It really is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into MuleSoft.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep connecting.